How's it going, YouTube? My name's Ed, Gravity Robotics, and I'm going to build a Battlebot. This whole COVID thing's got everyone locked up and got everyone bored, and new season came out, started watching them, and I'm like, you know, I want to build one. So I've been gathering a few parts here and there. This is definitely going to be a budget build. I'm not going to spend $20,000, $30,000 on a bot. I'm going to do it as cheap as possible, yet I want it to be good. I'm not going to build something that's going to go out there and... I'm not going to build something that goes out there and falls apart. So, I've been slowly gathering my pieces. I've got a few drive motors. I got some more motors on the way. Bought a cheap radio. Nothing fancy. It's a FlySky. I've been playing with it on a few little things. Seems to work great. If everything gets done and completed the way I want it to, I may upgrade, I may not. As cheap as this thing was, and it really does feel cheap, but it's got great reviews. They made shits on the case and that kind of stuff, but apparently it works really well. So far I haven't had any issues with it. It's very easy to program for my mixing and stuff for driving around. So I'm going to roll with it and see how it goes. Because I think for this and the receiver was $50, $52. And we'll link that down in the description for it. Like I said, right now I've only had it for 3 or 4 weeks, and I've been playing with it, all sorts of stuff, just kind of playing around with it. It works great. So that's what I'm going to use for now. I was going to do lead acid batteries because they're cheap. I changed my mind. So I've got some Ovonic cells. I've got 3S and 2S. I'll be using both of them. Same thing. These are relatively inexpensive. I'm going to go ahead and use these, see how they work. Which I actually did play around with these tonight. They seem to work great. Right now I'm actually going ahead and putting them back into storage charge after I play with them. They work really good. So I'm going to start off with basically, I've been designing now in my head for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Finally, yesterday I put something on, I won't say paper, but I put it out of wood. So I went ahead and kind of made a rough, granted this is really, really rough, representation of what I want to build. And actually I was driving it around out on the road tonight, and it's just, I made this out of cheap plywood. But I built this all out of plywood. It is so rough, but it was just to give me an idea of what I wanted and how the things laid out. I started building on this yesterday, and I changed the design about 4 times. Once I actually started putting pieces together, my first rendition of it looked like the Millennium Falcon. Some people liked that, some people wouldn't, so I went ahead and changed it. So this is what I came up with now. I'll go ahead and show you my rough draft here. And I got some video running around on the road. It works great. I've got everything mounted just loosely on top of it, and everything's made out of plywood. I went ahead and built the weapon for it even. It's made out of plywood. I've actually got a little drill motor on there just screwed on with a couple drywall screws just so I could actually play with running the motor back and forth just to get a feel for actually fighting. So I'll go ahead and show you what I got going on here, and then I'll show you some pictures of it on the road. Alright, and there is my basic design. Big wedge in front, big spinner on top. I know a lot of people kind of do them this way. Most people don't have this big of a wedge. I wanted a really, really big wedge, but that works for me. I was going to do 4-wheel drive, and mainly I was thinking in my head, while I'm playing around here at the house out in the yard, this won't grow real well. And it doesn't. It goes in the grass and it plows the driveway. But it goes. So like I said, it's really, really, really simple. There's my little cheesy mount for my weapon. But it does work. And actually right now I'm actually using the drill battery to power the weapon, which I got it on the charger right now because I was playing with it for, I don't know, a half hour. There's my Cytron controller. Little odds and ends stuff. But it does work. Well, like I said, since we are doing this on a budget, nothing I'm going to be doing is fancy. Everything I'm doing is something you can do at home. Although I'm not recommending that, I do have lots of experience as a fabricator and a welder. This will be pretty much all steel, all welded together, and I'm going to have a few frames made so the parts are really easy to change out with each other. To me, it's cheap, it's easy. I'm not going to do all this billet aluminum frames and housing and that kind of stuff. It's just, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on it. So, like I said, you see my basic design there. It's very, very simple. I am going to obviously refine this a little bit. This was just a proof of concept, kind of what I wanted to do, the size I wanted to go. We'll see how it changes. And I know I'm going to add corners to it, and the wheels are going to be totally enclosed. I don't want those exposed wheels out there. I am planning on making the backside of this into basically a hammer. It's going to be solid steel, as thick and heavy as I can make it, and keep in my weight range. I am building a heavyweight. This is going to be 250 pounds. So everything's going to be as thick of steel as I can make, and as hard of steel as I can make. I do have a good access to a lot of AR400 and AR500 plate. Most of it will be that. I will be using some mild steel in there just for support because it's cheap. And a lot of areas, you don't need it. Do me a favor, subscribe. It will really help us out. And like I said, anything I will be using, I mean, Amazon is going to be my main source for a lot of this stuff. Besides the stuff I have to get from the lumber yard and from, you know, steel suppliers and that kind of stuff. But everything from the side trunk controller. So far this works great. I've seen a lot of people use them for different things. I bought the 30 amp because I'm just doing 2-wheel drive, and that's more than enough for my motors I have in there. Kind of a strange story on this. The town we used to live in, 882 miles away from where we live now, is a distributor for these. Little bitty town in the middle of Missouri. I had no idea. We're in Florida now, North Florida. I ordered this off of Amazon. And it said shipping from, well, Rolla, Missouri. And I'm like, did they ship it to my old address or something? I started looking, nope. The distributor for these people are 4 miles from my old house. Drove by it every day for 15 years. It is nice to know they're right there if I do need something, because my mom still lives there and I go back and visit them. And if I need another one, I can stop it and I pick it up instead of having it shipped. Like I said, all my Ovonic cells, Amazon. My dual charger, same thing, Amazon. And so far I've been really impressed with this. That's what it is. And I got the 240 Duo. It may not be the biggest charger in the world. It's very easy to use. The fan is a little noisy when it's running, but I'm out here in the workshop, so it doesn't matter. I'm waiting on a few more parts to come in so I can actually get... I have another weapons motor coming, so I'll be able to put it in, kind of in my rough case there. Just get an idea of how it lays up. I'm actually not going to hook it up to this blade because obviously it will rip my little plywood blade to pieces. But I want to get everything figured out, how small I can make it, how compact, but yet how strong I can make it. The smaller I can make it, the heavier steel I can use everywhere around. But at the same time, I want it to be wide enough, stable enough, that I don't have any problems. I am going to be adding a self-rider to this. I haven't figured out exactly 100% how I'm going to do that yet. But I'm not going to do it on this version here. I may come up with the idea, but I'm not going to waste the time of making it for my little plywood one here. Same thing, everything I'm going to be using is going to be build it myself. Amazon. A lot of it would be literally, if I can find junkyard parts, definitely. We're kind of limited here where we're at of salvage yards and junkyards around. I do know a few people who actually have big equipment and that kind of stuff laying around, so I'm going to swing by their houses and see what I can scrounge, gather. I do want it to be safe. There's my charger, and it's already done. The storage. And I ran these for 15 minutes tonight. So put them in the storage in 15 minutes. Not too bad. So let me go ahead and end this thing before it annoys me. And of course my camera went dead at the very last part of my conversation there, but do me a favor. Subscribe, like, comment. I'm up for ideas too. I haven't 100% decided on a name of them yet, so definitely comment a name, what you think. Like I said, up for ideas, suggestions. This is my first time doing this, so it's a learning experience. Hopefully I'll make these videos about every week. I'm going to try to put a video out, everything I've done on it throughout the week. Should be a fairly quick build. At the same time, it may take me a little while to find the parts. But do me a favor, subscribe. Catch you next time.
Leave it. Got it.